The last time I spoke to my sister, she handed me an old birthday card I never gave her and said, "I kept this because it felt like the only time you meant it." I laughed uncomfortably, but she wasn't joking, and that was the last time she let me close. I was folding laundry when she rang the doorbell. It was one of those gray Tuesdays in early spring. Not cold, not warm, just damp and colorless. I had the news playing in the background, but the volume was low enough that it only sounded like static. I was matching socks and thinking about nothing in particular. I remembered that clearly, because there was nothing unusual about that day, not until I heard the doorbell. It wasn't a friendly ring, just one short buzz, like someone pressing the button only because they had to. I wiped my hands on my jeans and opened the door. And there she was, Morgan. She looked tired. Not in a dramatic way, just like someone who hadn't been sleeping well. Her hair was longer than I remembered. She wasn't wearing makeup. That green hoodie she had on, I recognized it. It used to be mine. She used to steal it all the time when we were teenagers, then claim she found it just lying around. "Hey," she said, giving me this weird, nervous smile. I stood there for a second before stepping back. "Hey." She walked past me without waiting to be invited in. She didn't take off her shoes. She didn't ask if now was a good time. It felt like she was trying not to think too hard about what she was doing. She sat down at the kitchen table, like she'd never left, like we still talked every day. Asked if she wanted coffee. She asked for water. Her voice was quiet. I handed her the glass and sat across from her. There was this long pause. She looked around like she was searching for something to talk about, anything neutral, but she couldn't find it. So she reached into her tote bag and pulled out an envelope. It was yellowed and soft around the edges. I recognized it before she even handed it over. My handwriting, slanted and kind of rushed. On the front it said, "Happy 12th." I stared at it for a second before I looked up at her. "Where did you get this?" I asked. She tilted her head a little. "I found it in Mom's dresser, in the old shoebox with the wrapping paper." I didn't say anything. My throat felt tight. "I kept it," she added, "because it felt like the only time you meant it." I laughed, a little too quickly. That dumb, nervous laugh people do when they don't know how to react. "Okay," I said, trying to smile. "That's dramatic." She didn't laugh. Didn't blink. I looked down at the card in my hands. I remembered writing it. We were living in that old split level in Naperville. She was turning 12. I was 15. We'd been fighting a lot. Mostly stupid stuff, like who got the bigger slice of cake or who Mom sided with more. I remember sitting on the floor of my room, writing that card with the door locked. I was trying to be nice. I wanted her to feel something. I even wrote a joke in it, something about her being half-grown and half-brat. I meant it. All of it. And then I didn't give it to her. I don't remember why. I think we got into a fight that day. Maybe she said something bratty, or I was just in a mood. I shoved the card into a drawer and forgot about it. Until now. "You really kept it?" I asked softer. She nodded. "Yeah. I don't know why exactly. I think I just needed it." I looked at her, but she wasn't looking back. "You always made me feel like I was too much," she said suddenly. Her voice didn't shake. Like I was too loud, too emotional, too in the way. That card. I don't know. It was the first time it felt like you liked me. Not just because you had to. I opened my mouth to say something, but nothing came out. "I'm not mad," she added. "I'm not trying to start anything. I just wanted to tell you that." She stood up, left the water half drunk on the table, picked up her bag and the same card she just gave me, and started walking toward the door. "Morgan," I said finally. But she didn't stop. She just turned slightly and said, "It's fine. I just needed to know you heard me." Then she left. She didn't slam the door. She didn't cry. There was no dramatic fight, no loud goodbye. Just her walking out. And that was it. That was the last time we ever really spoke. After she left, I sat there for a long time. I didn't pick up the water glass. I didn't turn off the news. I just sat, staring at the chair she'd just been in. It was like a fog settled over the kitchen. Like I had just missed something important but couldn't replay it. That night, I reread the card. She was right. Every word in it was real. I told her I was proud of her. I told her she made me laugh when I needed it, even when she didn't mean to. I said I was lucky to have her as a sister. 15-year-old me had written that. And I remembered meaning it. But still, I hadn't given it to her. The next morning, I texted her. Just a simple, "Hey, I've been thinking about what you said." She didn't respond. 3 days passed. I tried again. "Can we talk?" Nothing. I waited a week. Then I called. Straight to voicemail. I don't know what I thought would happen. That she'd cool off? That she'd realize I wasn't trying to hurt her? But here's the thing. I didn't realize how many little moments had built up until she said it out loud. I started thinking back to all the years we shared a house. I used to call her dramatic all the time. I'd roll my eyes when she cried. I'd tell her she was overreacting, even when she wasn't. I thought I was being the calm one, the older sister. I didn't see that I was training her not to come to me. And maybe it was worse than that. Maybe I liked being the one who seemed more together. Maybe I needed that. A month after she left, I saw she'd blocked me on Instagram. She didn't delete me, just blocked me. Like she didn't even want to know I existed. That's when I called our cousin, Kelly. Asked if she'd heard from Morgan. She said, "Yeah, she's been staying with friends out in Columbus. She got a job at a little gallery there." I asked how she was. Kelly hesitated. "She seems lighter," she finally said. I wanted to feel happy for her. I did. But I couldn't stop thinking about what she said. "I just needed to know you heard me." Because the truth is, I didn't. Not really. I'd listened to her words, but I didn't feel them until she was already gone. I started writing her a letter. At first it was just an apology. Then it turned into a memory dump. All the good times I could remember. All the things I should have said. I rewrote it 6 times. But I never sent it. It's still in my desk drawer, right next to where I used to keep that card years ago. One day, I got a group text from our aunt. Someone in the family was getting married. A big thing, lots of people invited. Morgan didn't show up. And no one brought her up. It was like the family had quietly accepted the distance. Like they knew better than to ask. A few months after the wedding, Mom had surgery. Nothing major, gallbladder, outpatient. But still enough that I drove down to help her for a couple of days. I stayed in the guest room, the one that used to be Morgan's. It still had some of her old posters half curled on the walls. A faded Save the Whales bumper sticker on the closet door. Her handwriting still on the inside of one drawer. Private, do not touch, with 3 underlines. That night, Mom and I sat in the living room watching some cooking show. She was drowsy from the meds, curled up under a blanket. Out of nowhere, she said, "Did you know Morgan stopped by last month?" I turned my head so fast I almost dropped my tea. She did. Mom nodded slowly, like it wasn't a big deal. Just for a day. Dropped off some books and that photo album she had. Said she found it in one of her boxes. I waited. Did she say anything about me? Mom hesitated, then said, "Not really. She asked how you were. That was it." Something about that stung more than if she'd said she hated me. Later that night, after Mom went to bed, I stayed up going through the photo album Morgan left. It was mostly childhood stuff, birthday parties, vacations, those awkward school picture day photos. And then I found one that stopped me cold. It was from her 12th birthday. There she was, standing in front of a cake with purple icing, smiling wide, a paper crown on her head. I was in the background, sitting at the edge of the couch, arms folded, not smiling. She looked so happy. And I looked like I didn't even want to be there. I sat there staring at that photo for probably 20 minutes, trying to remember what I was thinking in that moment, why I looked so distant, why I couldn't fake a smile for her, just that once. It hit me then, she must have noticed. She probably saw that picture 100 times over the years and thought, yep, that's what it was like. That's when I realized the card wasn't even the thing that hurt her. It was just the proof. She'd been collecting those moments, my silence, my eye rolls, the way I dismissed her feelings for years. Quietly. And when she found that card, it just confirmed something she'd already known.
I didn't know what to do with that.
Back at home, I took out the letter I'd written her. I added a postscript. You were right. I saw that picture from your 12th birthday, and I looked like I didn't even want to be there.
I'm sorry.
I did want to be. I just didn't know how to show up for you without making it about me. I sealed it, but I still didn't send it. A week later, I got a message from Kelly. Hey, just a heads up. Morgan's doing a small show at a gallery next month.
Her first solo thing.
Might be something you'd want to see. I clicked the link she sent. There was a short blurb about the show. Inheritance, a mixed media exhibit exploring memory, silence, and family narratives. My chest tightened. There was a photo of one of her pieces, a shadow box filled with torn-up cards, taped back together, surrounded by old birthday candles and broken pencils. In the corner, a small tag, Happy 12th. I stared at the photo of her art piece for a long time. There it was, my handwriting right there in the corner of the frame. The torn-up birthday card. Reassembled like a puzzle, but still visibly broken. She hadn't just kept it. She'd turned it into a message. Maybe even a warning. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to see it, but now that I had, I couldn't look away. For a few days, I kept the gallery link open on my phone. I didn't tell anyone. Not even Kelly. I didn't know if showing up would be supportive or selfish. I didn't want to make her big moment about me. But part of me, the cowardly part, wanted to be there, hidden in the back, just to see how she told our story, without using words. The gallery was in Columbus, a 5-hour drive. I got in the car the morning of the opening and didn't tell anyone where I was going. I didn't pack a bag. I just drove. No music. Just the sound of the road and the rising weight in my chest. When I got there, the space was smaller than I expected. Bright white walls. Exposed brick. That faint, clean smell of fresh paint and paper. People were gathered in quiet groups, holding wine glasses, reading little placards next to the art. I slipped in without anyone noticing. I stayed near the back. Didn't go up to anyone. My palms were sweating. Her voice came from the other side of the room before I saw her. And this one, she was saying, was the hardest to make. I turned my head slowly. There she was, standing in front of that same piece I'd seen online. Happy 12th. Wearing all black, hair tied back.
Calm. Poised.
The kind of calm that used to get her called too sensitive when we were kids. Now it looked like strength. Someone asked her what inspired the piece. She paused, then said, "It's about realizing the first time someone really saw you might have been the last time they tried." People nodded. A few murmured, "Wow." I just stood there frozen, trying not to react. She didn't look in my direction. She didn't know I was there. Or maybe she did. I couldn't tell. After the talk, I waited. Hung back by the door. A few people left. Some stayed to mingle. She moved from group to group, smiling politely, listening carefully, responding with grace. And then she walked right past me. No pause. No glance. Just moved past like I was air. I don't know what I expected. Maybe I thought she'd look surprised. Maybe I thought she'd come up to me and say something, anything. But she didn't. She didn't flinch. She didn't even break stride. She had erased me. Not with anger. Not with spite. But with distance. And the worst part? It felt earned. I didn't move. I just stood there by the door, holding my breath like it might stop time. She didn't see me, or maybe she did, and just decided I wasn't worth stopping for. And that's when it hit me. Not as a thought, but as a weight I suddenly couldn't carry. She had done the work to let go of me, and I hadn't even started.